Rights pioneer died today at the age of 89. 9 News anchor Clyde Gray is in Avondale inside the Greater New Light Baptist Church where Reverend Shuttlesworth delivered that final sermon. Clyde, he was a man revered for his courage and tenacity.
Very much so, and you'll see why coming up here in just a few seconds. The Reverend Shuttlesworth died this morning in his home in Birmingham, Alabama, the place of his boyhood. There he founded the Alabama Christian movement, in large measure because courts had outlawed the NAACP. He led sit-ins on segregated buses and was beaten by a mob while trying to integrate a local high school. Shuttlesworth moved to Cincinnati in 1961, and the rest, as they say, is history. The Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth dedicated his life to justice for every human being, regardless of race, color, or background.
History will record Fred Shuttlesworth as one of the great heroes of all times, especially as it relates to civil and human rights.
His efforts began with the civil rights struggles in Alabama in the 50s and 60s.
He fought in a very unafraid manner, a fearless manner, with courage to change his own community.
That work continued in Cincinnati with 4 decades of church leadership and community activism.
Reverend Shuttlesworth, during his life, remained not just an icon, but a hero to several generations.
Fred Shuttlesworth was short in stature, but long in determination to carry out his nonviolent crusade against formidable odds in the separate but equal South.
He fought like a giant, and this is what I appreciated about him.
He's the most courageous man I've ever met in my life. He's not afraid of anything.
Shuttlesworth said Ku Klux Klan members tried to kill him at least 10 times.
Almost invincible, you know. They couldn't shake him. They couldn't get rid of him. He just kept coming back and coming back.
One of those attempts, with 16 sticks of dynamite, permanently changed his outlook on life.
In the Christmas 1956, when the bomb went off and destroyed the house, I don't have a picture of that. If you had that, you could see why I don't get excited. Blew the cone off the house, springs out from under my bed, the wall between my head and the dynamite was shattered. It took the fear out of me. And it made me know that God saved me to lead the fight, so that I never was fearful after that.
As Fred Shuttlesworth carried the load in Birmingham, his work inspired a young pastor rising to prominence in Montgomery, Alabama. His name was Martin Luther King, Jr.
Martin worked on a higher sphere in terms of eloquence and loftiness of speech and beauty of mind, and able to go and do things whereby Fred was down in the grassroots. He was right down there in the trenches. He was just as important as Martin was, and I rate Fred as equal as a hero in the civil rights movement as Martin Luther King, Jr.
After coming to Cincinnati in 1961, Reverend Shuttlesworth soon formed Greater New Light Baptist Church in Avondale. He kept fighting for justice, going against Cincinnati Gas and Electric.
When they shut off that gas and electric, they are in fact inviting death, suffering, and hardship to people.
Awards came often to Shuttlesworth. He joined Bobby Stern and Charles Meacham in 2000 as Great Living Cincinnatians. And in 2004, he was immortalized at the Freedom Center as an everyday freedom hero.
I hope my life has been inspirational to young people and to really all people, because if we realize that we're on this earth for God's service, justice, brotherhood, that's the main thing.
In an interview at age 85, Shuttlesworth said he didn't expect to live to be 40 years old because of his efforts to combat segregation. He said long before he had vowed to kill segregation or be killed by it.